Hey guys, and welcome back to ISpeakSpokeSpoken. My name is James, and today we are going to be looking at adjective order in English, and this is the easy guide on how to use them properly. So in English, we have adjective orders, and I know that maybe even in your language, it doesn't even exist, this language order, but we do have it in English, and it will really help you to sound more professional, to sound more native, and just it makes what you're saying make more sense while you're speaking. What is adjective order, you might ask? Well, when we are listing multiple adjectives which are describing a noun, which is what an adjective is, we are going to need to put them in a certain order. And what this order does is it makes sure that you are clear, you're concise, and what you're saying, it flows well. Because believe it or not, and it may not sound weird to you, but to a native speaker, it sounds quite strange if things are out of the correct order. And I will show you a bit later how that sounds. So here is our wonderful adjective order here, and I will read them out to you as we go. So number one is quantity or number. So how many of something there are. You see, and that is the adjective that is the first one. Number two is quality or opinion. So how good something is or what you think of that thing. Number three, we have the size of something. So 6 foot, massive, something like this. Next, we have age. So how old something is, how long something's been around. Next, we have shape. Shape, so our shape is if it's a square, maybe it's a circle, a rectangle, so on and so forth. Next is the color. So the color of something, is it red, is it blue, is it green, is it yellow? We go on to the origin of something. When was it made? So what was it made in the Victorian days? Is it something like this? The material, what is it made of? Is it stone? Is it rock? Is it silk? You see what I mean. And then we have the purpose. So what is it there for? What is the reason of it? And then, so these are the orders in which we should be structuring our adjectives. So we're going to have a look very soon at the reason, at some sentences, and we're going to see them used in sentences. But first up, what I would like to say is, as you can see on these pages, we have some wonderful words with some red bits next to them. And when we have these red bits, I will try as much as I can to go through them with you, and I'm going to say them, and I'd like for you to repeat them back. So I'm going to start now because these are some words that we know are sometimes mixed up and they can be quite tricky. So let's try them. So number one, age. Age. Very good. Number two, shape. Shape. Next one, color. Color. Okay. Then we have origin. Origin. Great. Material. Material. As you can see with this word, we have 3 different syllables. So even 4. Material. So actually it's very important here to know where the stress is. So as you can see, we have our apostrophe and our dot. So it's this bit here that is our stressed syllable. It's It's the second syllable that is our stressed one here. So material, not material or material. You see what I mean? And that's important to know because that can really change the sound of a word. Next up, we have purpose. Purpose. Get those P's. Purpose. You see? And let's move on. Okay, so if you look up at the top right-hand corner of the video, you'll see a little eye up there that you can click and you can get all of the resources that you can see behind me. And you can even get a quiz over there that you can take and let us know how you do. We'd love to hear it. Put it down in the comments. Also, if you can't see the eye or you're on a mobile device, you can go down into the description below and you can click the link and you can head off over there and download. You can download all of the stuff here as well. So don't worry if you can't see the eye. So let's carry on with the video here. So let's explore each category with some examples. And this is the best way to practice, believe me, because you're not likely to remember everything in the order list. Like, that's natural. Not even an native English speaker would remember that if you asked them. But we naturally use it because since we were kids, we have always used the same adjective order. So if you practice and just keep on working on it, keep on writing example sentences, keep listening to people who are using these examples, and moments like this when you can really practice are good ways to get it into your muscle memory, and you will really hear how it sounds correctly when it is done right. So let's go. So first up we have 4 chairs. So adjectives that indicate how many objects or the amount of something. So here is something that shows the amount. We have 4 chairs. The amount is 4. That's how many we have. Next we have several opportunities. That's how many there are. There are several, which means quite a few. Several. So let's go through these 2 words here for now. Several, opportunities, opportunities. Good job. And keep saying them out loud. That's how you're going to get them correctly. Okay, next we have quality or opinion. And what is a quality or an opinion? These are things that are describing something or what you think about something. So let's have a look at some of them. Beautiful scenery. If you say to someone, oh, what do you think of the scenery? They might say, oh, it's a beautiful scenery. And they may also say, you may also say, oh, that's a beautiful scenery over there, which is describing. So yeah, beautiful is our quality or opinion here. Next we have terrible. It doesn't always have to be a positive thing. It can also be a terrible, it can also be a negative opinion or a quality about something. And we're going to now look at these words here before we move on. So first up we have scenery. Scenery. Great. We have terrible. Terrible. And last and certainly not least, we have weather. Weather. Great. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at size, the size of something. And this is the next adjective here. So the next adjective group here. So a tiny mouse, for example. A tiny mouse, a massive mouse. You can see we have the size of something. A gigantic building. A gigantic building. So let's now have a look at these words. So if you want to repeat after me, mouse, mouse, gigantic, gigantic, and our stress syllable here is the middle one here. So gan, gigantic, gigantic. Keep practicing that. And then last but not least, we have building, building. Great. And now we're going to move on to the next adjective group, which is age. So the age of something. So an old mansion. Doesn't have to be a number for age. It can also be a describing word for age. So old, young, new, or something like this. So an old mansion. And you could also have modern technology. Modern technology. So we have 2 words here. Let's go. So old. Old. Mansion. Mansion. Fabulous. Now we're going to look at the adjective group of shapes. Shapes, shapes, shapes. So we have an oval mirror. An oval mirror. That's our shape. We have the shape, a linear path. The linear path. You're describing how something is shaped. The difference, like what it looks like in shape here. So a linear path, and that is it for our shape ones until we come back to that. So if you want to repeat after me, oval, oval, mirror, mirror, linear, linear, and path. Path. Great. Now let's move on to color here. So color is a very commonly used group of adjectives when we're speaking about things. We quite often say, oh, what color is the shirt that you want? What color is your house? Or so on and so forth. Here is the first one. So when you're asking maybe someone for a coffee in a cafe, you might say, I'll have a black coffee, please. A black coffee. You see? Next one, a vibrant rainbow. A vibrant rainbow. So vibrant is describing the color. You see? So that is why it comes up in the color section here. So a black coffee. A vibrant rainbow. So here we're going to look at the different pronunciations of these two words. We have vibrant, vibrant, and then we have rainbow, rainbow. Okay, so now we're up to origin. And what is origin? It's where something's from, right? So it's American jazz, Turkish delight. And this comes up quite a lot when someone's saying, "Oh, I'm American. I'm English. It's an American cheesecake, maybe, or something like this." And yes, obviously in Turkish delight, which is actually a lovely dessert. So it is used quite commonly here. And we have the word American, if you want to repeat. American. Fabulous. And now we'll look at material of something. So it can tell us what something is made from as an adjective. So we have a leather wallet. We have a glass window. What is the window made of? Oh, it's made of glass. Oh, how is the wallet? Oh, it's leather. It's a leather wallet. So these things are all materials that are making the thing. So the wallet is made out of leather. The window is made out of glass. You see? So let's now go through some of these words before we move on. We have leather, leather. We have wallet, wallet. And we have window, window. So now let's have a look at the purpose one. So why would we need to talk about the purpose of something? Let's see. So we use adjectives here. So driving gloves. So why do you have gloves? Because you're driving. So why do you have a hose? Because of the garden. You see, this is something that we would use this for in this sense. So I have this thing for that purpose. And that is why we would use that. So now let's try the pronunciation of this word here. How would you say this? It's hose. Hose. Great. So let's now put them together and see how they all sound when they are put together as a sentence. If you want to look up at the right top hand corner of the video and click the little I, you can get all of the things that you can see behind me and a quiz. So let us know how you do down below in the comments. Also, if you're on a mobile device or you can't see the I, you can go down into the description below and you can get the link over there as well. So you can click the link. Great, so let's have a look at what it's like when we put them all together. So yeah, when we use them in the proper order, it enhances the descriptiveness of the sentence, and here are expanded examples with an illustration. Exactly. So two adjectives. So when we have two adjectives, this is quite a simple one here. An old wooden ship. An old wooden ship. So this sounds correct. But if I was to say a wooden old ship, this sounds very clunky. it doesn't sound like it matches. You see what I mean? It sounds weird. It just doesn't sound right. So if you want to say after me, if you want to repeat, an old wooden ship. An old wooden ship. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. A soft blue blanket. A soft blue blanket. Great. And that sounds a lot better than a blue soft blanket. It just doesn't, there's something about it. And if you asked a native English speaker who didn't know about English adjective order, they would just say, I don't know, like that, it just needs to be in that order. And that is how you should remember it, as I said before. Instead of trying to remember the whole order, just getting used to it and letting it become part of just how you speak. Because it is how it is, but there's not much reason to it. So just learn it, I would say. Great. Okay, and now let's have a look at what it's like when we have 3 adjectives. So we have a magnificent large medieval castle. So we don't have a medieval large magnificent castle or a large medieval magnificent castle. These sound weird. So what you want to say is a magnificent large medieval castle. And you can also, if you want through the video, you can also write down the different reasons for using these, like all of the different sections. I will go back quickly for you to be able to do that. And if you pause the video right now, you can actually write all of these down. And as you go, you can keep referencing why the sentences are how they are. So pause it for a second, and then you can write it down. Nice one, guys. Let's go back to where we were. Okay, so yeah, magnificent large medieval castle just doesn't work. Whereas if we have, several ripe red apples, that sounds right. But if we had red, ripe, several apples, this just doesn't make sense at all. So yeah, just keep practicing and say it after me. Several ripe red apples. Wonderful. Sounds great, guys. Okay, and now let's move up to 4 adjectives here. 4 adjectives together sound like this. A luxurious old French silk gown. I know, the sentence is getting longer now. A luxurious old French silk gown. If you want to say it. Great. A luxurious old French silk gown. It wouldn't be a French silk old luxurious gown. This just doesn't sound right at all. Let's now move on to the next one. 2 small square wooden coffee tables. 2 small square wooden coffee tables. Very good, guys. Remember, keep on repeating and you will get better and you will be able to use these naturally if you just keep practicing. Keep practicing. Okay, here we have 5 adjectives. We're moving even further up here. And here we have a charming, small, new Victorian brick house. I know that these are very uncommon. We don't commonly use 5 adjectives, one after another, but it's good practice. You know, if you ever do want to describe something like this, and if you're ever reading or writing, it's important to be able to do this because imagine the last book that you read and think about how many adjectives came up. It's very important to be able to use these adjectives in the right order to be able to actually sound very like native as an English speaker, you see? Next up, we have 4 large bright yellow rubber rain boots. 4 large bright yellow rubber rain boots. Great. And it wouldn't work if I said rain rubber yellow bright large 4 boots. This actually, if I said it like this, it just sounds strange. Like it doesn't make much sense at all. Like it's hard to actually remember the descriptions this way because you don't really know what you're talking about. Like you don't know what the other person's talking about. Let's move on. And here's the last page here. So really good job, guys. And we're going to move on to the last page. So here's some additional examples here. So a single exquisite large old round golden Spanish metal decorative plate. It wouldn't work if you tried to say a decorative metal, Spanish, golden, round, old, large, exquisite, single plate. It just doesn't make any sense. Or 2 impressive, huge, old, cylindrical brown British oak storage barrels. It's like there's so many adjectives here that is actually so much to say, even for a native speaker. So if you want to try and say it after me, 2 impressive, huge, old, cylindrical brown British oak storage barrels. Give it a go. You got it? Nice, good job. Okay, so yeah, these show how adhering to the adjective order can significantly change a sentence and really make it so much more understandable. When I say this, I can understand and I can really see how it is describing something and why it's describing something. But if it's said in a different order, it just wouldn't make any sense and I wouldn't be able to follow along with the description of that thing. And as I've said before, and I will say it again, don't worry about trying to learn these. Don't worry about trying to remember every single one and every single order. What you should do is know that they exist and just focus on when you're reading, as anytime you see them, think about, like there are 2 adjectives next to each other. Are they in the right order? And maybe go back to the picture and the writing that you did earlier on when you wrote out all of the orders and just kind of reference it. You don't have to learn it, but reference it. And then over time, the more reading you do, the more practice in speaking that you do, it will become muscle memory and it will be natural to use them correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the first slide again and I'm going to tell you each adjective section in order and you will be able to follow along, say them after me, and then we will finish off the video with that. So 1 second. Okay, so we have quantity or number, if you can say that. We have quality or opinion, you'll go. We have size, you'll go. We have age, now it's you. We have shape, color, origin, material, and purpose. So what we want you to do is if you put down in the comments your own sentences that you've made, go as crazy as you can, make them with every single one if you can, or just a few if you can. But remember, most sentences that you do say in daily life will probably only use 3 or maybe 4. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you followed along and we look forward to seeing you again. Please like, subscribe, comment, and my name's been James. We've been ISpeakSpokeSpoken.com and joyfully